Hello, my name is Isaac Altarira, the sales engineer here at ISI. Today, I'm excited to show you our new Q Analytics solution that will help you and many others get metrics and insights on what's happening inside your call queues. As many different companies leverage the native queuing capabilities of cloud calling platforms such as MS Teams, WebEx calling, both basic and essential packages, using our tool, you'll be able to get contact center like metrics without that contact center price. In today's video, I'm actually going to show you a few different ways on how to use our software to get better insights on these Q analytics. So without further ado, let me jump into the product and show you how this can be done. ISI is able to present to you your call data in two main forms. The first one being is a dashboard like what you're seeing on screen. Now the idea here is that any user who logs into their own dashboard has their own personalized widgets and displays metrics that are most important for them to track. On my left here, you'll see all the different queues that I have enabled in my system: accounts payable, sales, and support call queues. As you see me click through each of them, you'll see the data change based on which queue I am enabling. As an example, let's pick on the support call queue so I can demonstrate some of the features that the dashboard is able to do. So the first one being is to be able to select the date and time, being able to have complete control over which dates you're actually looking for. ISI comes standard with 13 months of data retention, so you're able to go back 13 months and select whatever day that you're looking for. Or you could say to the system, let me just see the last 31 days. You also are able to enable the current queue period, which essentially just means your operating hours. If your operating hours are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., you can enable that in our system and see just the current queue period. After you click save, that's the date range that you're looking at and what you're going to be seeing on your dashboard. Now that we've selected the date that we want, from here we can press the three dots, press edit dashboard, and select the plus button. Now we have four options to choose from: Q metrics, donut, time series, and agent. Selecting any of these widgets would populate you a dashboard very similar to what you're seeing here on screen. You can see here on my dashboard, these are all the widgets that I've populated that are important to me. Here's a general overview of some of the widgets that we can display. The first one being is queue metrics, so total calls, answered, missed, abandoned, seeing things like the service level, the amount of time for an agent to pick up the phone, average queue time, maximum queue time, and even average talk time. All of these can be customized by pressing this little three dots, press edit dashboard, and selecting edit this widget. If you wanted to add additional metrics, you could press this blue button here and select which metric you want to be displayed. Another neat feature about the dashboard is the drill down capability. Being able to select this 33 total calls on this widget, clicking into it, and it's going to break down all those 33 total calls. Upon drilling down, here are some of the metrics that can be displayed. The first one being on the left here is the caller, who's the actual caller who dialed in. Queue source type and queue source will essentially show you where did the call come from. Then you have some nice to haves: queue start time, queue time, talk time, and queue disposition will show you if the call was answered or if it was missed. Next one being the queue handling type. How was the call handled, if it was answered or if it was missed? You could see some were abandoned, some were timed out, some were answered. After identifying the queue handling type, we could see by the queue handling if it was answered, which agent actually answered the call. If it was timed out, we could see the reason why it was timed out by the queue final action. So this one was abandoned by caller, the queue final destination was an abandoned call. Opposed to something like this one where a queue handling type is timed out and the final action was forwarded to voicemail based on the routing. We could see which voicemail it actually routed to. This drill down feature is super useful for those who want a quick view as to what's happening inside of their queue. Going back to my dashboard here, you'll notice some other types of widgets I'm able to populate, such as this one, Queue Final Action Breakdown, essentially showing me what was the final action taken by that queue or that agent who answered the call. We can see 20 of them were completed by agent, 8 were abandoned, 2 of them forwarded to voicemail, so on and so forth. Or this agent widget here, where it can show me the presented calls of an agent, how many of them went answered, and how many of them went unanswered. Now that we covered the dashboard, let's move over to reports, the second area of reporting. Jumping to the reporting templates, you can press this blue button here, New Template, and you can choose either a queue detail, agent detail, or summary reports. As an example, we'll stick to the MS Teams queue detail report. As you can see, it auto-populates some of the columns we were looking at when we drilled down into the widget. Let's say you want to add an additional column to your report. You can simply type in whatever metric, something like presented agents, and maybe the agent. Go to your filters and apply some filters. Maybe something like queue. You want to isolate a particular queue of choice. Maybe just the sales and accounts payable. You can also add something like queue final action, so you can segment all the different final actions an agent did take or did not take. Maybe something like forward to voicemail or transfer to an auto attendant. From here, you can press the Run Now and select the date of choice. You can also say to the system, let me see the last 31 days of activity. Pressing Run Now will yield you a separate report, filtering all the data that you just segmented. I can see calls that were forwarding to voicemail here, as that's one of my filters, and I'm only looking at these accounts payable queues and the sales queue. From here, you can export this report to an Excel or .csv file so that you can parse it, you can filter it a little bit further there. Going back here, you're also able to schedule reports. If you know you need a report on a recurring basis, you don't want to come into the product every single time to run a report. This is a nice way of setting up on a schedule so that it's completely automated. The first way to do it is pressing this New Schedule tab, giving it a scheduled name, a description, and add one of your templates that you created. Then you can go to the date range and choose the date of choice, and go to the scheduling tab. You can do a regularly scheduled or a specific date and time. A reoccurring schedule, you can do it for every month, week, day, or even hour. And then going to the output, you simply type in whoever's email you want to have a recipient of this report. Give it a subject, a message, and choose what format, an Excel or a CSV file. And then press schedule. And now it's completely set up for you to have this reoccurring report. Those were two main ways of getting your Q Analytics reporting from your cloud calling platforms using ISI. An easy to view dashboard that's highly customizable, and a robust reporting engine that can empower you to have full control over what data you want to view. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more exciting news from ISI around your Q Analytics journey.